Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to cover how to read geography effectively for the coming UPSC Prelims 2026 examination. So as part of the video, we will be covering initially the book list to refer. In the book list column, we will be discussing not only the must-read NCERTs, we will also be suggesting what are the additional textbooks you can take it for the preliminary examination. And when it comes to question paper analysis, we will be covering the recent 2025 UPSC Prelims geography question analysis, and we will also give you the pattern of the geography in the last 10 years in the UPSC prelims examination and what are the recent trend change which is happening especially in geography segment in preliminary examination. We'll be discussing that and what strategy you can adopt successfully to crack all the questions which are asked in the UPSC preliminary examination. So these things will be covered in today's video, students. So please stick to the video. Additionally, during the mentorship also, what I have been observing is that most of the students are not getting clarity. Sir, should I go for textbooks, and in case what textbook should I cover, like that kind of confusions are prevailing for the students. So this video will be helpful in clarifying their doubts also. So first we will go into the must read NCERT, students. First is the 6th standard NCERT, Exploring Society, India and Beyond. In this 6th standard NCERT, you need to necessarily cover the theme A, that is India and the world, land and the people. In this, the chapter number 1, chapter number 2 and chapter number 3 can be covered for geography segment. And when it comes to the 7th standard Exploring Society, India and Beyond, again in the theme A component, that is India and the world, land and the people, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 can be covered. And coming to the 8th standard Exploring Society, India and Beyond book, here in the theme A segment, you need to cover the chapter A, natural resources and their use. Now coming to the 9th standard NCERT, this you need to fully cover for the UPSC preliminary examination, and it's a very simple book only, students. And when it comes to the 10th standard NCERT, again you need to read fully the 7 chapters which are listed here. And coming to the 11th standard NCERT, Fundamentals of Physical Geography, I would say this is one of the best book which is available for geography segment. So you need to necessarily cover the book. Not only covering the book is important, students, you need to make notes for this book because this book is going to be helpful for your prelims as well as mains examination. So try to have a holistic look of all the chapters which has been given here, but give maximum attention to the climate chapter because that is where most of the questions has been asked in the UPSC prelims in the past as well. Now coming to the one more book in 11th standard, that is India Physical Environment. This is also one important book which you need to necessarily read and take notes and try to make sure that you are revising and remembering most of the facts which are given in this particular book as well. Now coming to the 12th standard book, I would say have a read of this complete book once. Notes making is not important here, but what is important is give maximum attention to primary, secondary and tertiary activities chapter. Now coming to the 12th standard, one more book, that is the India People and Economy. Here what I would be suggesting is that give maximum attention to the mineral and energy resources. Additionally read all the chapters. But here while reading the mineral and energy resources, please take a notes out of it because the important minerals available in India where questions can be asked in the preliminary examination as well. So what are the textbook you need to read, students? Here what I will be suggesting is you need to read Certificate Physical and Human Geography. Especially in this book, you can give maximum attention to the climate regions of the world. So starting from equatorial to polar climate, that is Arctic and Antarctic climate. Up to that, you can cover only the climatic regions. That is the second half of the book. The first half of the book, it will be talking about physical geography and other basics concepts related to climatology as well. If you are not getting clarity in the NCERT books regarding the concepts, you can selectively use this book for enhancing your knowledge, students. So this is the only book I will be suggesting for you to take it to preliminary as well as mains examination. And when it comes to map making, this is where recent times most of the questions have been asked in geography segment in preliminary examination. So for Indian geography, Oxford Student Atlas will be very helpful. And when it comes to world geography, Orient Black Swan will be very helpful, students. So order these two atlases and try to keep the latest edition with you. Now let's go into analysis of 2025 UPSC preliminary geography segment questions. So the first question, consider the following statement. Scientific studies suggest that a shift is taking place in the Earth's rotation axis. So this is a basic question which has been asked from the universe chapter. And these basics are available in your normal NCERTs only, but you need to link it to the especially the current affairs which are coming in the newspaper where solar flares and related concepts are coming. So you need to link it whether due to this any influence is happening on rotation of the earth or not. So that is how you can answer this question. So mere reading of NCERT alone will not help to crack this question. You need to link it with the current affairs which is coming in Hindu newspaper. And the second question here, this is a easy map question. And in map question, what is the most important thing is students, the places which are coming in news is one thing which you need to do, especially notes making from the Hindu newspaper in international segment. Additionally, what you have to do is you have to read the conventional mapping segment. This is where most of the students are missing out in the geography segment question, students, because what they are thinking is that if you could only see what are the places in news which are coming in the newspaper, we can crack all the questions in geography mapping segment. That is not the way to go about. The right strategy would be you need to revise the conventional important mountains, plateaus, and the lakes of the world. For that, you need to use the Orient Black Swan Atlas in a good manner. Then you can come to the places in the news column. Now moving to the third question, consider the following water bodies. So whether equator passes, again this is a conventional question. So if you have a good reading of Atlas and if you have covered the world map in a proper manner from Orient Black Swan Atlas, then you can answer this particular question. Now coming to the fourth question, which are the following are the evidences of continental drift? This is a direct question which has been asked from your 11th standard Fundamentals of Physical Geography book. Now coming to the fifth question, the amount of dust particles in the atmosphere is more in subtropical and temperate than in equatorial and polar region. This particular question is picked from your climate chapter in Fundamental of Physical Geography 11th standard NCERT book. Now coming to the sixth question, in January in northern hemisphere the isotherms bend equatorward. Again this question is also picked from your climate chapter only, students, and this in this particular thing, this particular question is picked from your 11th standard Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Now coming to the seventh question, in the context of effect of water on rocks, chalk is known as a very permeable rock, whereas clay is known as a quite impermeable rock. This particular question is picked from your weathering and erosion chapter from Physical Geography segment in 11th standard Fundamentals of Physical Geography book, students. Now coming to the eighth question, without the atmosphere, temperature would be well below the freezing point everywhere in the Earth's surface. Heat absorbed and trapped by the atmosphere maintains our planet's average temperature. Again, this particular question is asked from your climate chapter, where the basics of all these climatological atmosphere related things are covered in a very good manner, and you can answer this particular question. That is after reading the Fundamentals of Physical Geography NCERT, students. Now coming to the ninth question, World Bank warned that India could become one of the first places where temperature could exceed that is 35 degrees Celsius. So basically they are talking about the impact of global warming. So this you can relate it only when you have a good hold of current affairs as well as when you read the especially the Fundamentals of Physical Geography, Biogeography or Environmental Geography chapter as well, students. Now coming to the 10th question, consider the following countries. So where there are more time zones, this is a direct question which has been asked from your basics of 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard NCERT, where time zone concept and international dateline concept has been given in a very good manner. Now coming to the 11th question, and Anadyr in Siberia and Nome in Alaska are a few kilometers from each other, but people walk up. So they will. This is a question related to international dateline, again asked from basic 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard NCERT. Now coming to the 12th question, consider the following pairs. In how many of this the information given is correct? So basically here they are asking us to match the country with the mineral resources. That's why I've been telling you, students, mere reading of places in news is a outdated concept. Kindly don't approach geographical mapping segment in the old trend. If you go with the old trend, you cannot answer any of the geography mapping questions, students. You need to catch the new trend which is coming in UPSC Prelims geography mapping segment. That is, you need to read the conventional mapping column. For this, Orient Black Swan Atlas is a very good resource. Additionally, you need to collect additional information from each of the countries and the mineral resources, important mountains, plateaus, lakes located in the world. You should have a good hold on this, where repeated questions can be asked. Now coming to the 13th question, again they are asking us to match the region with the country. This can be related with the current affairs, especially places in news column, but students who have a good hold of conventional map reading, they can easily answer this without too much thinking. That's why what I've been telling is there has been a lot of trend change which is happening in the geography segment, in mapping segment. Okay, students, let's look at the trend analysis. How many questions they are picking from geography, especially in the last 10 years means If you look at it, the minimum number of questions is only once they have asked it. That is 7 question in 2016. That is the lowest number of question which has been asked in geography. But the recent trend, if you look at it in the last 3 years, in 2023, 16 question, 2024, 20 question. But last year, there has been a decrease in the number of question, that is 13 question has been asked from this. So what we can expect from this coming year, we can at least expect minimum 13 to 15 questions for this year as well from geography segment. So what is the strategy you should adopt? We'll discuss that now. If you look at the 2025 prelims question paper, you can easily identify from the physical geography segment, they asked questions on landforms, rock types, weathers and erosion, continental drift theory evidences. Climatological chapter, they are giving importance to temperature pattern, greenhouse effect or global warming effect and other related things. World geography, they are giving maximum importance to mountains, lakes, regions, resources, as well as the time zone. This is the latest addition which you need to give maximum weightage while reading the NCERT. Additionally, use the encyclopedia to collect additional information of the time zone concept across the world, where maximum time zones are available, where minimum time zones, all this you should have a good clarity to answer the question. And applied and current geography is a recent trend which is happening, where climate related change impacts are they are asking, and geophysical shift, especially on the Earth's rotation axis or not. Those are the two questions which has been asked, which you can answer with using a common sense and good hold of geographical concept clarity. Now, what is the strategy? You can use it for the coming UPSC Prelims 2026 students. This is only going to be crucial. Physical geography, while reading that, give importance to the various landforms formed by river, ocean, sea, all those things. And continental drift and plate tectonics, try to have a good hold on this, where question can be expected. In climatological chapter, the basics of monsoon and cyclone should be covered in a good manner. When it comes to oceanography, give maximum attention to ocean currents, tides, and coral reefs. And when it comes to environmental geography, the basics of biome and types of biome should be covered in a good manner. Additionally, try to develop the applied, especially conceptual clarity in greenhouse effect and global warming, and try to update this information with the current affairs which is coming in the newspaper. While reading the world geography, as I said, students, there has been a trend change. That is, previously what UPSC they used to ask is only the places in news. So students who are just reading any magazines or reading the newspaper and taking the places list, they can answer the question from geographical mapping segment. Now the trend is over. Now what is the trend you need to catch? You need to read the conventional geographical segment covering all the, especially the places by continental approach is important. Try to start with North America, move to South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, then Australia and Antarctica. In this manner, you should cover all the important world geographical segment, especially mountains, lakes, important regions, resources, and try to give maximum attention to time zones as well. And when it comes to Indian geography, here in the mapping segment, give maximum attention to rivers. Here, repeated questions has been asked in the past. Additionally, give importance to national park, biosphere reserves, the important plateaus, tiger reserves, and the UNESCO World Heritage Sites as well, where questions can be expected from mapping segment students. In addition to this, if you are facing any problem in covering the geography segment, you can try to comment that. We will try to respond to that students. Thank you.